All right. Happy post-conference. We are still buzzing. We just flew in home earlier today and just so blown away by such an incredible weekend. How many of you actually joined us in Melbourne on the weekend? Give us some love. So many. Awesome. So good.
If you didn't and you have FOMO, you deserve it. No, there's a lot of people who didn't come to conference, and for whatever reason, we still love you. We know there's lots of you who live streamed. We know there's lots of you who didn't go to conference, but you've already bought your ticket for next year's.
So good.
And I think the cool thing about this is this model of business, you just pick it back up wherever you left it, you know. Stuff comes up, you don't feel you're good enough, whatever. Every day is a new day and you get to start fresh. And I love that about this business because if you wake up and just like, you might find your next NMD today. You know, if you're still checking at the airport, they might be sitting next to you on the flight. It might be the lady lining up to check out at the supermarket. You know, it might be the next person you connect with online. So it's a beautiful model where people who feel good do good. I really want you to write that down. People who feel good do good. And I think for so long people have compared themselves to others or compared themselves to the goals they set, which were just so unrealistic in the first place. I know I spoke about this in the close where people, I'm going to be an MD, I'm going to charge the stage next year. With no comprehension of really what that's going to take. If you were at the wrap up on Sunday, Shani started talking about, you know, for her to get her first 11 customers, she tracked everything. She knows she had 60 conversations to do that. And a lot of you speak to 10 people and go, I'm not good at this. Well, no, that's not how it works. And then people got overwhelmed. 60 conversations, that's insane. There's 30 days in a month, it's just 2 a day, you know? And so I think that's where I really wanted to do this with you guys because we're only babies ourselves, let's be honest. We're only 4.5 years in. But I've seen enough where people are like, oh my gosh, I'm going to crush this. And you're in this bubble that is conference. And then, you know, 2 days later, you're like in this pity party, fetal in the corner, because what goes up must come down. So I wanted to help you guys ease back into reality, take the momentum. You know, this isn't about crushing that, but it's taking that into actionable steps now, and just connecting back in with your family, back into your relationships. It'll happen, and just being aware of, you know, well, what can I do right now?
So for those of you that didn't actually get to join us at conference and you didn't get live stream, you actually can still purchase a live stream ticket as well. So there's a lot of value in that. I mean, you can watch it over the coming weeks and kind of dive into all of the amazing inspiration. I know some people who went to conference bought the live stream so that they can go back and listen to things. So just wanted to make sure we mentioned that first. But like Anthony said, we're really big on helping you guys turn your inspiration into action, because it's all well and good having a great experience, but let's convert that into what do you do? How do you start to connect with your team? How do you reconnect with maybe a team that have slipped out of action? How do you get clear on the goals that you want to set so that you know where you're headed? Because it's all good saying, I'm really excited, but if you don't know where you're going, it's really hard to start. So we're really big on helping you guys break that down and giving you some strategies so that you can work with your team, set goals and intentions for this time for conference next year, which for those of you that don't know, if you haven't seen the news, it's on the Gold Coast for 2020, which is amazing. So we're really, really big on that. So that's what tonight's all about, is helping you hit the ground running and not just be really inspired. And in a month from now, you look back and go, I've still done nothing. There's nothing that's actually shifted since I've been at conference.
So the first group of people I want to speak to is those who are relatively new to this. We get told all the time by our team, oh, we didn't contact you because you're so busy. And I'm like, I'm not. It's sad, but you know, if my team contacts me, I'll be there. And I think, you know, you see your leaders or whatnot, or you feel like, oh, I don't want to disturb them, or you need to freaking demand their time.
Yeah.
If you want this, you got to make it happen. You know, if you watch my close, I missed a whole section that I was supposed to do, but I'm going to give you that. So I showed this Jordan video, and it was like, give me the effing ball. And so my question to you is, what is your give me the effing ball? You know, he failed and he failed and he lost the game and he missed 3 shots, and it's like, oh, but he's still like, just give me the ball, still give me the ball. And I think a lot of us, we get into this state where it's like, oh, you know, I've called 3 people and they all said, no, I must be no good at this. And I'm not getting where I want, so I'm not going to disturb my mentor. No, you need to, if you want this, you need to demand more from yourself than anyone could possibly expect. And you need to stay close to the fire. You know, and I think it's really important when you start team, you already pre-frame that. You know, I know there's going to be times where things aren't going how you would love them to go. And I'm going to know that because you're not going to be on our trainings. You're going to start missing events. You're going to stop checking in with me. And so when that happens, do you want me to be the person who reminds you why you said yes to this, or just leave you alone? So you've already had that conversation. And so that's where you can actually, you know, connect back with your team. So what I'm going to ask you to do is, if you are all in, 2 hands up, and you're new to this, you've got to let your mentor know. And if you're not getting the support from them, it doesn't matter, because there's another 4 people above them who are rock stars who have vested interest. If you don't get the support there, go sideline. If you don't get it there, let Lindsay know at Juice Plus. She's a coach and she'll work with you. Like, you have so many resources, and you need to lean into those resources.
And we can't blame our upline, our side. Like, ultimately, our success is about us deciding and taking the actions and getting resourceful. You know, I think David Bryan said our resourcefulness is our greatest resource. So this is where it hits the road. And some of you I had chats with over the weekend where you were nervous to go up and talk to a leader that you were inspired by. I'm like, get your butt up there and back yourself. Like, you guys have to do that. This is about going, no, I'm worth it. I know what I want to create. I know that I can add value to people. It's my time to take the ball. I want to have time with this leader. I want to be with this mentor. I want to be coached. I'm teachable. I'm ready to go. You need to let them know. Your mentors are not going to come and rescue you. This is not how this business works. All right? It's about you backing yourself and going, no, I'm worth it.
So the next group of people is those of you who have some sort of team. You know, you've got a handful of team. How do you start to categorize who you're going to work with? So hopefully, if you're a leader and you've got people on this team, in the next few hours, you're going to get a message from them saying, pick me, pick me, pick me.
Yeah.
I'm all in. And then they're going to know you're the one to work with. There's lots of people who have lots of potential, but the ones who succeed in this long term, it's grit, it's resilience. I don't care how bad you are at the start, because go speak to 10 people, whether you did a bad job or not, you're going to get better. Speak to another 10, you're going to learn and get better. So I don't really care about potential. It's who's willing to play long-term, who's willing to be consistent. And that's who your leaders are looking to work with. So, you know, it doesn't matter if you've got any runs on the board, no runs on the board, what your track record is. I didn't go to conference. I don't care. You know, today is day one. It's a brand new day. So reach out to your mentor, let them know. So Kate's going to share, if you are a leader, you've got some team, what reports do I run? How do I start connecting with my team? How do I start working one-on-one with certain people? How do I manage others by group? Take it away.
So we got to spend some amazing time one-on-one with Cheryl Cortese, who is one of the top earners in this company and industry, when we were at the leadership retreat before the conference started. And she gave us some amazing skills and tools to apply into our business. So first thing, like Anthony said, you're a newbie, you don't have any team, you put your hand up and you let your mentor know it's game on. If you have a team, you might be SC, SSC, and there's some team beneath you. I know for me, me at that point in my business, I knew everyone in my business. I knew where they lived, whether they were direct to me or not. I knew what their goals were. And so I have a journal and I know exactly where people are and what their intentions are. But here's the thing. Sometimes people kind of drift off and maybe they got started 3 months ago, 6 months ago, and it hasn't necessarily been the start that they wanted. Now is the perfect time to reconnect with them. So what I would do is go and download your downline growth report. So if you're not sure how to get there, you go into My Team Data and Former Reports, and you can download it from there. And that's literally a report of your entire organization. All right. Start from the top and just work through, because this is about you taking ownership over your organization. Sometimes leaders in between tap out. They're not necessarily that engaged. But every person in your organization is someone that you can work with and that, you can pour into. What's really interesting is Jeff Roberti, who's the $1 million man, the number one earner in our company. There is a lady you probably have heard of, Dr. Mitra Ray. She was 19 levels down from him, and now she's a frontline NMD and an incredible leader in this organization. You just don't know who is deep in your business that could rise to the top in your organization, because people tap out, people give up. We heard from some of the NMDs this weekend that their upline quit. And so they literally have missed out on this incredible business because they tapped out before their team did. So downline growth report and literally go through. And I would either get on the phone or I would send a voice message, be like, oh my gosh. And some of them were at conference and some of them weren't. Oh my gosh, Sarah, I just wanted to connect with you. I've just come off the back of an amazing weekend of conference and I couldn't stop thinking about you. I remember when you first joined the team, you shared with me that you were really looking to create that extra $400 a month so you could have that holiday with your family. I just wanted to reconnect because maybe we didn't have the start that you wanted in the beginning, but I wanted to see, is that still a goal that you'd like to work towards? Because I'd love to be able to mentor you towards that. What, are you in? Something like that. And I would message every single one of them. Now, if you don't know about their story and their goal, well, you should. So this is a good lesson to go, well, what's my leadership style? Am I diving in? And do I know what their why is? And if I don't, then check in with the person in between them and find out. Because for us, our why and the reason that we do this, I've got a list. I've got a huge whiteboard right there on the wall behind me, and I've got every single one of my frontline leaders, all of them, the names of those in particular in action. And I look at every name and I know their family, I know where they live, I know what their goals are, I know their why, and I know their challenge. And so when you get to understand the importance of that, their why becomes yours, and you will do way more for them when you have that understanding and you're a part of that vision.
Cool.
So that's what I would do, literally message through everyone. And you're going to then know out of everyone in your organization who's up for it. And you can also say, and super excited, Gold Coast is next year. Huge shout out to Michelle, one of the girls in our team. She's already booked a house for 15 people, paid the deposit, a 50% deposit today. And she let all of her team know, hey girls, we're going to the Gold Coast. I'm so excited. She's already planting the seed with them and she's committed. So if you guys have it, just think about that. If you were at conference by yourself, imagine having a house of 10 or 15 people with you this time in a year. That is absolutely possible. And the reality is, if you don't create it now, if you don't create that void now, it kind of can't happen. So you want to start thinking about what you can do right now to really feel that and start pouring into your team so they catch that vision as well.
I think the easiest way to build this business is just build conference to conference. It's very difficult to impart the belief, the understanding, the feeling in the profession, the company, the product, all of that if people aren't at conference. And so if you can get just every year more and more people to conference, it does so much of the work for you.
Yeah.
And so I'm so pleased that the company has worked with us and has released those tickets now. And the 5-packs. And so I don't know if you guys are aware, but that offer, so it's $165. It's for both days and the gala, which is about a 44% savings. And then you've also got a 5-pack. And you think about, that's your ticket and only 4 more people. So if you were just to find one committed teamie per quarter over the course of the next year, if you're not doing that, then you're probably not doing anything. All right. But the way the universe works is there's no such thing as a void. As soon as a void is created, it's got to be filled. There's no empty space. So as soon as you actually commit to that, I had team of this conference saying, yeah, I'll go if some of my team go. I'm like, it doesn't work like that.
That's dipping your toe in the water.
It just doesn't work like that. You need to commit, and then people can follow you. And people are looking for your leadership. People are looking for your organization. That's what an organization is. So for you to book tickets now, and maybe a 5-pack is just beyond your means, or like that's too, you got to book your own ticket. We've done a lot of work with Anthony Robbins, and he says you never leave the site of setting a goal without doing something towards its attainment. And I know some of you are like, oh, but I'm not paid yet. I don't care. Get a credit card. You can't tell me you don't have a means. Call a loved one, call your mum, whatever, and get the ticket. I'm so, I don't know what else I can say about how this is going to pay dividends for you.
There's so many people commenting that they've got tickets, they've bought 3, they've got, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I'm so impressed with the amount of action that you guys are taking. This is amazing.
We have team who, let's say they had 12 team at this conference. They've already got 14, 15 tickets for next year. And so that's how you grow an organization.
Yeah.
So I'm so proud of you guys. Trust, every year we've been at conference, it's gotten better. It's just going to continue to get better. And so I know that Celine, the company's got our back. Gold Coast, great destination. So I just want to give you guys some strategy on making sure that you're already reaching out to people.
Yeah. So what I would do once you've gone and connected with every one of your team, then it's about jumping on a call with them and setting some goals and intention, right? Because you want to then go, great, some people might have tapped out for the last 6 months. Others just came to conference with you and they're like, right, how do we do this? So some people you're going to have a one-on-one call with, depending on if they're frontline to you. But what you might want to do, depending on the size of your team, is then do a group call within a particular line. Because then that way there's sharing and there's accountability and people are doing this together. And one of my most favorite things about this business is the sideline relationships that you get to form and the friendships and actually growing together with someone else. There's so much power in that. So, if you have a bit more of a team, then I would do that. I would do a group call and have everyone share what their goal is and then be able to walk through that, because we get to learn more when we get to see others in action as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that creates accountability.
It does.
Jay Martin said it best. His number one recommendation to do well in this business is to do it with someone. And that's not necessarily your upline. It could be a sideline. It's just someone that you're accountable to. Often it's better with a sideline buddy because they have no vested interest in your business. It's not like an employer-employee. If you've had that feeling before, it's just 2 people going, I got your back, baby.
Yeah.
On those off days, on the good days to celebrate the wins. So just some logistics. If you've tried to book a multi-pack and it comes up and it's like you need 5 AU numbers and you're like, I don't have the other 4 people, just put your own in. You'll be able to connect back with the company and say, oh, yeah, I've got this teamie now. They're committed.
So first things first, find out who on your team is in action. Second, book some calls with them, one-on-one or group calls, so that you've got that action where we're talking about our intention. And then obviously chunking those goals down, because you might have a goal or an intention of what you want to create by conference next year, but then it's about chunking it into bite-sized pieces to work back from that.
Sorry, I halfway through what I was saying. So they've extended the offer, so it's 44% off. So it comes down to $165 for one ticket,
including the gala.
Including the gala. If you buy a 5-pack per ticket, it comes down to $155, which is about 50% off. They've extended that through to tomorrow evening, so Tuesday evening. If you're watching this as a...
So Tuesday the 18th at midnight, Sydney time, that will cut off. And there is going to be not a huge, but a significant increase in your price. So if you know you're coming and you plan on bringing a team, then just lock it in and just roll and just go from there.
Awesome.
So can you share with us, there was a story that you started a little bit during your close, but then there's also a really awesome thing that we were talking about with Michael Phelps. Can you share that, please?
I can. So I'll give you the context. I heard this really cool podcast. Just look it up and listen to it. So if you look up Anthony Robbins' podcast and then Michael Phelps, and he's kind of post-career now, right? But it was really cool because he was sharing how he was about 15 or 16 when he went to his first Olympics, and he made a final. He came 5th. He was like, so what? Like, he went back to his coach. He's like, I want to do what no one else has done in this sport. And so most people took a month off before they got back to training. He went straight back to training the next day. And he trained every day. He did not miss a single day in 7 years. And then he went on and he came out and he said, I'm going to win 8 gold medals at the next Olympics. And then Thorpe, who was still pretty good at the time, he just came out in the media and said, what a crock, he can't do that. And they were buddies, right? And so Phelps didn't say anything about it and then won 8 medals. And then the next Olympics, he's like, because he went through a real low time. I shared this a little bit as well. 80% plus of Olympians after the Olympics go into depression because they set this target and it's like their identity. And they think once they do that, they're going to feel this incredible thing. And they don't. And it's a warning for you because it's like, oh my gosh, once I hit SC, then I'm going to be, I'm going to feel incredible. Like I'm doing this. And it's like you wake up and no one comes to your front door and fireworks and, it just doesn't happen. So it's about feeling the future feelings now, having that visualization of what it feels like. So anyway, Phelps comes back out and he's like, yeah, I'm going to come make a comeback. And so Thorpe again comes out into the media and says, no athlete over the age of 30 can win a swimming medal. And so Phelps, next time he sees him, he's like, don't you believe in your bro? And he's like, yeah, I do. That's why I said it. He's like, I know how your mind works. And I knew on the hard days that you would have me in your mind and you would put the extra effort in. And it was just like, oh. And so sometimes when you feel like your mentor is not being nice or, sometimes you've got to hear that.
Or maybe it's your partner that doesn't quite support you, and is challenging you in a certain way. We spoke about kind of reintegrating into family and everything, following conference. Maybe it's that, or maybe it's a friend that doesn't really get what you're up to.
So if you are anything less than SSC, I am going to say do not set NMD as a goal. Now, anyone who is under SSC, I'll want to see your report. I will personally take you to dinner at the next conference. So anyone who can go from SC to NMD, some people have done it. I'm not denying that. I know of probably half a dozen people who have done that. That's not good odds for most of the company when you're talking about thousands of people. But that's my Ian Thorpe moment for some of you. I'll personally take you guys to the Mel Brandt dinner. I know there's a bunch of people, but for some of you, it's exactly what you need to hear. It's like your FU moment.
Like we said, the goal is having you here this time of the year, not burning out or getting frustrated and not hitting the goal and then beating yourself up so that you just tap out. The goal is thinking about the 4-year career, right? What can you create? And even if it takes you 10 years to be able to have, that life that you want. Now, for some of you, NMD is not the goal. And that's cool. That's amazing. Whatever your goal is, whatever winning and success is, that is what is important. So I really want you to be clear on that, guys. Success is about it for you, not what you think it should be, not what you think your mentor wants it to be. Get really clear on that. $400 could be a game changer for you. Maybe this is about community, but staying in the game. For others, it's creating that part-time income. You've all got a different reason why. First of all, know the dollar amount. Know the dollar amount that you would love to create in your business. If you do not have that, then the title, the other stuff is irrelevant. Then we've got to work backwards from there so that you're really clear on how do we actually get there. And the first thing right now, most of you aren't having enough conversations. Conversations is the lifeblood of this business, okay? And, you speak to any of the leaders, you see any of the people that were on stage, over the weekend and sharing their stories, they've just had more conversations than you. They've just got bolder. And what I'm really big on, and I have got a lot of feedback from particularly a lot of mamas that, I spoke to over the weekend. It's like, how do I do this around my family? How do I maximize this? I'm really big on 15-minute chunks. I know Shani spoke about having an hour of power, which I love. Sometimes if we do have kids and other things going on, that's just not possible in one full session. Break it into 4 15-minute chunks. Some of you with less time will get more done than if you sat down for a 5-hour day and straightened your desk, okay? We're avoiding doing the high-paying activities. So here's what I do.
Quick story. If you've got all day to clean the house, how long does it take? If someone calls you and it's like, hey, I'm just in the area, I'll be there in 15 minutes. How good can you get the house looking? And you're not going into your business with the same intensity. It's like, I know I need to connect with, expand my network by 10 people. I need to start 10 conversations. And it's not like, oh, I've got all day to do that. No, challenge yourself. Get that done in 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Compress time. That's what this is about. The most challenging thing people do in this business is go full time in it. I got more done when in between patients, in, little breaks, in lunchtime, sitting on the toilet, at the traffic lights.
Yeah.
I got more done then than when I went and retired. And it's like, got all day.
I love Lozzie just has written this. I remember Simon Chan saying this at one of his events. If you're earning less than $500 a month and you want to be earning more, you're talking more to yourself than you are to others. And, that's kind of funny because we get in our head and we make up all these excuses and we just make a reason not to take the action. So here's the thing, guys. I'm big on, we do MFA sessions. I look at doing a 15-minute workout on your business. I think it's amazing what you can do in 15 minutes. So here's what you do. It's just about not getting distracted. It's literally going, put the timer on your phone and do one thing for 15 minutes. So for 15 minutes in your day, do nothing but start conversations. Bang, bang, bang. You can get 10 conversations done in 15 minutes. Easy. If you can't, it's just that you're overthinking it. Okay, 15 minutes. So imagine you've got three 15-minute chunks of your day. For one 15-minute session, start as many conversations as you can and only do that. Put the timer on and just get to work. And if you need to think of who you should be talking about, get a journal and have a massive brain dump. There's an awesome memory jogger. If you Google memory jogger by Worre, you can download it as a PDF. It's awesome. Gets you to think of so many different people, health conditions, that kind of thing.
Just a little caveat there. When you go into conference in future, but you can reverse it from the last conference, think about all of the speakers. Think about all of the stories. Dave O'Brien, who do I know who's a runner? Who do I know who's an athlete? And just like, who do I know who is young? Who do I know who's had addiction problems? Who do I know who's a nurse? Who do I know who's a single mom? Who do I know who is a personal trainer? Mm-hmm. Who do I know who is a chiropractor? And you just literally go through that. And then there's the connection with them is, first of all, hey, so good to see you. So great to connect. It's been ages. What's been going on? Be human first. Business is relationships. Relationships is conversations, but you've got to connect with the person. And then once you get into conversation, hey, been at a conference, heard this amazing story, couldn't help but think of you. There was this guy, 57, ran 4 desert runs, and I thought about you and your running. How's it going? And then use that to escalate the conversation.
So if you don't have a journal with a heap of names in it right now, this is your first step. You need to have an abundance of people that you could connect with right now. And if you don't, then you're not thinking big enough. Okay. So that's the first thing. That is your first step. I would start, if you don't have it, start with 100 and just get 100 names down that you can start thinking about, caring about, and connecting with. So for 15 minutes in your day, whenever that is, imagine before you deal with kids, work, whatever, you do 15 minutes of just reaching out, connecting. And that doesn't be, hey, you should join my team. It's like, oh my gosh, I've been thinking of you. How are you and the kids? Just start conversations. Okay. Then imagine you've got a lunch break, or you get your little one to sleep, or whatever it might be, and you've got another 15-minute chunk. Again, put the timer on. Don't get distracted and get in the zone. And then what you want to do is engage with people, because, you know, through the Facebook algorithms, we know that if we're connecting, we're liking, we're loving, we're commenting on people's Facebook pages or Instagram, whatever it might be, the algorithms will show us more on their newsfeed and vice versa. So then the people you're already thinking about, love, like, comment, be interested in what's going on in their world, okay? That's where you want to be, just pouring into other people. Who can I add value to? Maybe you're in a group and you can add a recipe or add an inspirational quote or just something like that. Engage with people for 15 minutes that you'd love to be able to help in some way. And then at the end of your day, 15 minutes, follow up, circle back. Hey, just wanted to check, did you get a chance to watch that link I sent through to you? Do you have any particular questions? Hey, I'm placing some orders for some clients tonight. I know you said you were looking to get started on your weight loss journey or your health journey. Would love to help you get started as well. Literally, you can do that in 3 15-minute chunks in your day. It doesn't have to be, I see the mamas where, and I did this, I'm guilty of this, guys, that anytime a notification would pop up, I'd look, oh, it's an urgent thing. And I would feel like I was working on my business the entire day. I would feel drained from it and didn't feel I was necessarily getting anywhere. My kids were unhappy because I wasn't present with them. And then, you know, Anthony would be as well because I wasn't actually engaged with him. So break it into 15-minute bursts. If you have the ability to do a full hour, amazing. But most of us have got stuff going on, okay? Beautiful Sarah, who walked the stage as NMD on the weekend, she did a 100-hour work week the week she went NMD. Like, that's amazing. So you can get this done in stolen moments, guys. I've seen people quit this and quit their jobs and do this full time and become less productive with more hours into this. So I'm really big on condensing time, but you have to be disciplined. You've got to put the timer on, not get distracted. I think Teamsy is a brilliant tool if you haven't checked that out. I love using that because it literally just tells me who to connect with, who to circle back with. I don't have to use memory management. I think there's a 30-day free trial possibly, and then there's a monthly fee after that. But check out teamsy.com. And it is absolutely brilliant. Now, if you are, I'm going to say SC and below, it might not be that necessary for you, but if you're serious about building, you know, a good, strong business and being professional in your following up and circling back, I think that's a brilliant tool for you guys to check out. So really important just to chunk it down and get specific on one activity, 15 minutes, get it done, and then do your life, do family, do your fitness, do your job, whatever it is, and then put that hat back on through different stages of the day.
Got on a roll there.
I did. I got a bit fired up. Apologies.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So we're going to start to wrap this up. The last thing I would say is 2 things. People aren't waking up going, oh, I want to sell fruit and vegetables in a capsule. People aren't waking up going, oh, I'd love to be an SSC. No one does that. People are doing this because they have frustrations, they have pains, or they have desires. They want more from life. So connect with that and then connect that to the compensation plan. So you need to reverse engineer to go, all right, what would life look like? What would a dollar amount be that puts a smile on your face or allow you to do that? Once you've got the dollar amount, let's say someone, they're working 6 days a week and they hate that they miss their kid's soccer match. And it's like, okay, well, could we drop a Saturday? Yeah, I could. How much is that worth to you? $200 a week. Great. So if we could, put $800 to $1,000 in your bank account each month, what would that mean to you? And you want to see or a tear or Wow, well, let's get to work. And then you want to chunk that down, reverse engineer it for them. Go, well, you know what? This is what you get per order, and just use premium or whatever the common products that you would encourage people to have, and break that into a number to go, fantastic. You know, you're looking between you and some team to get 10 customers between you, and then give them some strategy on how to do that. And if you do it in this timeline, you've got this as a bonus as well. And so, you know, you're going to be looking to try and get a customer every 3 days. Now you've got some targets, now you've got some reality. And when people start this, they're just babies. You know, they've got no training. You've got to prepare them for the no's, the rejection, to really hold their hand through the process. So I wanted to share that, because some of you are going, well, what's a realistic goal? The realistic goal is to help people. Right? I know you want dollar amounts and SC or SSC and all the structure and bonuses. Go to your mentor for that. You know, you want to just know what's the next step. That's all I did with Linda. It was like, okay, this is what's available. Boom, yep, done it. Now what? Okay, now you need to get how many customers, how many, yep, done it.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need to know from here all the way to 100 Club. It's just what's the next step in what timeline, and just focus on that. Otherwise, it's a distraction.
Yeah. Lucas Spies from Germany, an incredible 100 plus club, I think 300 plus club leader, spoke about this at the Barcelona conference. It's like, you know, this business is like driving on a foggy road, and you can only see so far ahead, and you don't know if there's water over over a road or a tree down or anything down the track. You just can't focus on that. All you can do is see those 20, 30 meters ahead, and that's all you can focus on. That's the exact same thing with this business, guys. So focus on helping people, focus on conversations, people getting started on the products. Another thing that I think is really important, and I'm really excited about this 5-1 bonus. We're going to touch on that in a second. Katie Ravey, another incredible NMD out of the UK, she's got 10 frontline NMDs, and guess what? They all started out as raving fan customers. She loved on them. They had an amazing customer experience, and then they found out about the business from her after that. So starting team isn't necessarily the goal. You don't get to help people get healthier by just having team get on board. This is about helping people become healthier, better versions of themselves, falling in love with the product and that health journey, and then showing that business along the way too. So some of you are going to have direct business conversations, and I do that all the time, but I just think that's a really brilliant reminder of going, wow, like who out of my customer base right now haven't I even spoken to about this potential of linking arms with me and this mission? Like you could have 5 teamies sitting right there in your client base, and you haven't even spoken to them about it. So even just thinking about that, to come back, you know, go through your team list, but then going, wow, you know, I've just come back from an amazing conference learning more about our incredible products. And I just wanted to connect with you and thank you for being such a loyal customer of mine for this many months. It's been so amazing helping you. And I really appreciate you supporting my business as well. I couldn't help but think that maybe this could be something that you might be interested in joining me on. So that's another great way of already just looking at who has already said yes to you in some capacity that could say yes to something bigger.
So the company's put an amazing extra promotion together called the 5-1. We'll just share the screen so you can see what that's all about. So this is month 1.
So we basically, it's actually, so June is when this is actually, it's already in action, 5-1 bonus that they've got in place. So in the month of June, if you attract 5 new customers and 1 new teamie, you're going to get an extra $100 bonus, not to mention all of that awesome retail profit and commissions, depending on what level you are in the compensation plan. Do that in month 2, you'll get another $100 bonus. Do it in month 3, $150. And then 4 months in a row, you'll get another $200. So that's pretty darn amazing. Now you might do it 2 months out of the 4. That means you'll get an extra $200 bonus. This is awesome, guys, because ultimately, whatever your goal is, whatever your financial goal is, your structure, whatever, it all comes down to team and customers. So this is a great incentive that the company has put together for us. This image is in the Australian New Zealand franchise page, so you can save it. So you've got those details, but I just think this is amazing. It's helping us focus on the things, the high paying activities, the things that matter to grow your business to where you want to go.
So just to wrap up, I want to give you guys an understanding of the road ahead. A lot of people set goals, unrealistic expectations, and then they feel disappointed. So I showed an image in my presentation where it was Kate and I, Adam and Lorian, and we're at a training with Jordan Adler, who wrote Beach Money. And it was in Dre's nightclub. I know Anna was there as well, a few others. And it was so beneficial to get this training early. And he said he's looked at hundreds of different people's businesses across many different network marketing companies. And it always looks like this. 1 in 5 people will do anything. 1 in 5 people will do anything. And so if you've got like 4 teamies and you're looking at them and you're trying to manage them and motivate them and they're not doing anything, it's because you just don't have enough people yet. You might have 10 and 1 person's doing something. It might take you 11 before you get your 2. But just use that as an estimate that only 1 in 5 are going to do something. So if you reverse engineer and you go, I want to be an MD, well, you need to help 5 people create an SC minimum business. And so if you need 5 good frontline, you're going to need to recruit at least 25 to 30.
Probably more like 40.
And then if you know, like, well, I have to have 10 links or 10 exposures to get 1 person. And it's like, okay, well, I need to have 350 exposures. And if you know to get an exposure, sending a link, connecting with some kind of resource, I need to, speak to 10 people to do that. It's like, you're talking like 3,500 conversations. Yeah. That sounds huge and scary. But if you break it down, there's 365 days in a year. Mm-hmm. And if you have 10 a day, you got it done in a year. But most of us are just not being consistent. Every day that you miss, you just can't get it back.
And I look at every conversation, guys, that I start. 10 might sound like a lot. It's not. You actually can do it. I look like every conversation is like me throwing out a lifeline. And the more lifelines I have in the water, the more chance that I can help someone. And I don't know when someone's ready to pick that up and say, help me financially, help me lifestyle, help me health-wise. I don't have control over that. But the more lifelines I have in the water, the more ability that I have to help people. And if you see it like that, then those 10 conversations every day, it's like, how can I help? Who could I help today? Whose life could I impact today? If that's your question versus who can I get, your results will be very, very different.
And the more conversations you have, you get better at it and your numbers get better.
Yeah.
And over time, people you spoke to in month 1 circle back in month 10 because you've continued liking, commenting, staying in their life. The number of people, if you've done this well, I got 2 customers yesterday just because they saw the pictures of conference and whatnot. I didn't need to reach out to them. They circled back to you. Okay. So I want you to know that. The other thing he taught us is usually 50% of your business will come from 1 person. 1 person. And that's freaking exciting because if you can get so crystal clear, when I took you through that closed eye process at the end, hopefully you saw their face. Maybe you haven't met them yet. Maybe you haven't met the next person. And that's what you want to become obsessed about. That's what you want to get so crystal clear. So many people, you're looking at your team and you're trying to raise the dead. If I get back to my farmer analogy, when an amazing gardener and the plants are starting to grow, and then it's like, oh my God, that one's starting to wilt. And it's like, they don't stress out about it. They know that's the natural law. And good gardeners, what do? They actually prune because they know that that's going to create new growth. That tree's energy, all of that, it's going to new growth. And so I'm not saying go cut people out or cut them off, but stop trying to paint, spray paint dead leaves, pretending they're alive. They're not. You know, it doesn't mean they're not going to drop off altogether and then re-sprout down the track. But you spend so much time and energy trying to make someone that they're not. Leave them alone. And put things out there, connect them to the resources. That people get so disappointed. I'm not a good leader. They didn't have the experience I thought they'd have. You have no control over that. All you've got to do is keep putting people in front of the resources, in front of the trainings, in front of the conferences. Some will, some won't. So what? Who's next? This game is honestly about recruiting.
And guys, you can't attract amazing leaders unless you become one first. You have to do the work, okay? This is where it just comes down to getting in the gym, working that muscle. It's not going to feel comfortable or easy necessarily in the beginning, but this is like, some of you might have seen people up on stage over the weekend and go, oh my gosh, I could never do that. Well, they grew into that, okay? Think about if you're a parent. You didn't have a clue what you were doing in the beginning, but you grow into all of these skills. It's just part of that journey, right? So just start with something, commit to it. If it's 3 15-minute chunks, whatever it can be for you, be present with your family. Focus on your health as well. Don't get caught up in comparison. Know what winning and success looks like for you. Connect with your mentor so that you can get clear on that path ahead and just get into action. Commit to that conference. Tap into the amazing 5-1 bonus that head office has available for you guys. And it's just about doing the work. And sometimes it might feel monotonous or boring, but when you think about whose life can I change today, you know, how many lifelines can I get out there that could potentially change someone's world, then that's when the game changes.
Make me proud, guys. I set a goal. I think there was ended up being about 1,400 people at conference. And I set a goal that we could have 2,000 tickets sold before this offer ends. And I'm like, we'll crush that. Like, surely at least everyone in the room will buy a single ticket. And then, you know, in leaders, inspired people, they'll buy 1 to 2 5-packs. I'm like, we're going to crush it. Last count, we're only like 300 or 400. But I know people have to get home, get settled, check bank balances, get things sorted, jump online. Let's do it, guys. I see a vision for this company rocketing. You know, we have incredible support. We can't share too much, but the time that we got to spend as a leadership group with Sean Hopkins, there's just going to be more money on the table. It's going to be so much simpler to start team. The early bonuses, the way the compensation plan is just going to stack up nicely. The pricing of the products, the dashboard. You've got this perfect storm of a company that's been around for 50 years and this incredible new innovation of technology and the hundreds of millions of dollars that they're investing into that. And you've just got this community and this product that you can't compare to anything else. Like, we are just out of our skin excited. I think, you know, this wave of what's happened in the last 3 or 4 years, it's literally a ripple compared to the tidal wave that's about to happen. And so get on front of the wave, you know, don't be left behind thinking, oh, could I, should I? Just freaking keep turning up.
Yeah.
Keep turning up, keep upskilling, keep giving me the effing ball. You know, I'm okay. You know, I know where I'm going. I know who I am, what I stand for. I know what I'm committed to. And if you have a bad day, if someone says, like, just fresh day tomorrow. Don't sweat the small stuff. If you're having a bad day, you know, honor your inevitable death. You're going to wake up again tomorrow, lean into the people around you, and let's just crush this, guys. You know, I see a 10,000 conference coming in the next 4 or 5 years, but it's got to start with you guys. It's got to start with who's on the line.
Yeah.
You know, you can't have these wild, big dreams and expectations and not at least buy your own ticket today. So jump on, let's try and crash the website tonight. You know, I want to see it punch through 1,000 and then 2,000 tomorrow. Love you guys. We want to pour into the community more, and let's all do this together. One team, one mission, Let's do it.
It's exciting. And for those of you, there is an event on the Gold Coast with Lauren LaHave tomorrow evening, which is so Tuesday evening. And then we're flying down to Sydney with Cheryl Cortese and doing an event there Wednesday. So really excited about that. And there's going to be more and more events happening throughout Australia with all the leaders. We'll be keeping you guys posted. So stay tapped into this Australia and New Zealand page so that you can keep up to date with all of those as well.
Super Saturdays every month. There's going to be monthly themes for you guys to promote. Wellness Warriors, if you came to that event, there's going to be that kind of thing. Webinars every month online. It's ready to take it next level, guys.
Amazing. Thanks so much, everyone, for being a part of this. We will post the recording up as soon as we can so that your teams can tap into this as well.